Hey everybody, it's Gabby and it is time to gab about some books.
Oh, I don't know why I just did that.
Okay, so it is time to talk a little bit about a book that I just finished reading called The Apartment by S.L. Gray. This book was a surprise. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble. It was part of the buy two, get one, or buy three, get one free, or buy two, get the third free. Yeah. Immediately I was drawn to the cover because, hello, look at that. That is beautiful. Well, I say beautiful, but it's just creepy, so it's really not beautiful, and I don't know why I'm saying it's that. Within this book, you are introduced to Mark and Steph, who are a married couple. Mark is, I believe, twice the age of Steph, so everybody was kind of concerned about their relationship from the start, and they have a child named Hayden. Well, throughout the entire book, you understand that Mark had another child. Her name was Zoe, but she passed away, and you don't know how, and you also don't know if the wife passed away because they kind of talk about the wife not being in the picture, and at one point I thought they said something about the wife being sick, but I guess not. They're struggling, Mark and Steph, and so they're having this dinner party at the beginning of the book, and their friend Carla, well, Mark's friend Carla, suggests that they go on this house swap site. Within the house swap site, they can click on any destination that they would potentially want to go to, and Carla gives them the suggestion of Paris because, hello, Paris, the city of love, and immediately Steph is just hard eyes and everything, and she wants to go, but Mark is very skeptical about the whole thing. He doesn't necessarily think that he wants to go on the site to Paris. Yeah. Steph ends up just going with it. She doesn't care that Mark's not for it. She goes on the site, she's just checking it out, and she immediately gets a message from this couple named the Petits who live in Paris, and the pictures look fine, and she thinks that it's a dream come true, but then she realizes that they really don't have the money to even travel there. They wouldn't have to use any money to stay in the location because they would be swapping places. It's kind of like a creepy version of that movie Vacation. I think it's called Vacation, with Cameron Diaz, where she switches with somebody in England or whatever. But that's getting sidetracked. She tells Mark about it, and then Mark is obviously like a firm no. But something changes in his mind, and he realizes that it's probably a really good idea to go. So he calls Steph's parents and he asks them to borrow money for the plane tickets, which of course the parents are glad to do because they love their daughter. And then he also has that ultimatum that Hayden, their daughter, stays with parents because he doesn't think that it's a good idea to bring a 2-year-old with them to Paris. Oh, I forgot to mention one important detail. The couple actually had a home invasion prior to these events, so they're traumatized, which is part of the reason why Carla tells them that they should do this whole house swap, because it's a change of atmosphere and they'll get out of it, and maybe that will help them get over the trauma of everything. They were held at gunpoint, all their valuable items were stolen, the whole 9 yards. They go to Paris, they arrive, and they're so excited. But then they get to the building and they backtrack because they think that they've arrived at the wrong building, because the building is very dingy, it looks abandoned, and it's not like the pictures that the Petits posted on the house swap site. That should have been the first red flag. But no, they carry on because they're exhausted from the trip. So they get the key, and immediately when they open the door to go inside, there's no light in the flight of stairs that they have to climb because there's also no elevator. Imagine that. So they climb up the steps with the use of the cell phone, you know, like the light on the cell phone, and they go up, they get in, where all the creepy things happen. I won't go into too much detail because I don't want it to be a spoiler, but just my advice to you, do not read at night, especially if you're a scaredy cat like myself, because let's be serious, I am the biggest one in the entire world.
But I still read scary books and I still watch scary movies. I don't know why I do it to myself, but I do.
So let's talk about pros and cons. As far as a pro, the atmosphere of the book was terrifying, and because it's set in Paris, I think that just adds to the creepy vibe of it, because it's another country that these people are going to, which they're from South Africa. But just the vibe of the apartment that they describe it's very abandoned, and then you find out it's even more abandoned than they truly thought. So that's one of the pros. Another pro is that it kind of gives you a look into somebody's mind that has suffered from a traumatic experience such as a home invasion. Steph and Mark both handle it very differently. The book is spaced into two different perspectives, so you have it from Mark's perspective and Steph's point of view. So that makes it interesting because you see things happening one way and then it's explained a different way. So you're also kind of toying with that idea of which one is the correct perception of things, because there's a few things that happen towards the end where you're like, okay, is it Steph's way or is it Mark's way that's the reality? And you don't find out about whose reality is the actual reality until the very end, and then you're just like, oh my gosh. Which is also another pro. The twist at the end is incredible. I kind of saw it coming like probably 100 pages out when something else happens, and I'm not going to spoil it because then you'll understand what happens at the end, and it's just I actually wanted to gag when I read some of the scenes, which I guess would be a con for some people if you're not into like the graphic depictions of certain events happening. Like there's a lot of descriptive explanations about certain situations happening, and I can't go any further because this is my one book that I don't want to do too many reviews on. But a con, I guess, would be that Mark is insufferable. He's older and he definitely acts older, and not in like the sense of like he's mature. He kind of shuts Steph's thoughts down and doesn't really give her a chance, and then he makes her seem like she's this nagging woman and she's really not. And then there's another character, Carla, which is Mark's best friend, I guess. She is the worst kind of character, and you kind of you think about people that you actually know and you compare her to them, which makes it a little bit more interesting, I guess. Another pro would be that once you get to a certain point in the book, when all these events start taking place, you can't put it down. Like, I believe that I had this book started, or not started, but I started reading it again. I was probably like 200 pages out, which it's not even that long.
I wasn't 200 pages out, it's only 272 pages. I was like 100 pages from the end.
And I started reading 100 pages out, and I want to say like 11 o'clock, and I finished it. I'm also a really slow reader, and I had to take breaks because I was so terrified at one point. But I finished it around 2:45, and then I turned on Step Brothers just for, you know, little giggles, and then I slept with my light on because I'm just that much of a wimp. But that's okay, right? Because there's a part in the book towards the end about something being under a bed, and it's crawling like a spider. Just pick this book up if you like creepy reads. Obviously, if you are not into creepy reads, it is not going to be for you. It is, the writing style is a little drawn out in some parts, but the descriptions of the whole scenario is great, and then like it leaves you with a cliffhanger. That's all I'm gonna say. It leaves you with a cliffhanger, and I kind of want another one of these. This would also probably make a really terrifying movie, but then I feel like it would be ruined because scary movies are hit or miss. But this book was pretty good, and I think you should all pick it up. If that doesn't convince you, I didn't want to give away too much because there's so much that happens throughout the book, and if I talk about it, then you'll know everything that happens. But like I said, great book. S.L. Gray they're two authors, and I can't remember who they are, but excellent. Which is weird because it's also a Bloomhouse Books horror original, which I didn't know Bloomhouse was now producing or putting out books, so I'll have to look into that because Bloomhouse Productions also has some pretty good movies. But anyways, this was my little quick book review on The Apartment by S.L. Gray. I hope you liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye!